Border management will be on the agenda at the ANC's weekend policy conference. NEC member Mmamoloko Kubayi says the party has heard the concerns around illegal immigrants, but she says the free flow of goods and people is important for economic growth. She was speaking to JJ Tabane on Power to Truth.
We can't grow the economy when we have porous borders.
Yeah.
That we agree. Because you've got to separate between the issues around illegal immigrants and legal immigrants.
Yeah.
And the fact that we've got to be able to find that balance and drive the township economy. One of the papers, which is an addendum in the discussion under safety and security, we've now added, which was not there initially, is the document that is produced by led by Comrade Aaron Motsoaledi, around what we are proposing on policies. While looking at, we've got to support the African Free Trade Agreement in terms of movement of goods and people, but we are saying because some of the issues in terms of border control are critical so that you don't end up with undesirable people in the country. There are various impacts. One, in terms of, for example, you know now there was an issue alerted that we need to pay attention. There are some people who are in the country funding, insurgents somewhere across the continent, that we've got to pay attention. So when they come in, we need to know who are the people in the country, when they leave, who has left. So the closing of the border and management of the border remains critical.
Well, this weekend conference will only be a success if policies adopted respond to the challenges that are faced by all citizens in our country. That's according to ANC spokesperson Pule Mabe. The governing party is set to host its national policy conference later this week. Mabe says ordinary South Africans do have a say on the policies.
So we would say that this policy conference, the 6th National Policy Conference, is a success based on articulations that come out. That ensures that structures of the ANC begin to respond to the myriad of challenges that South Africans are talking about there. Whether it's on jobs, it's on energy, it's on social security. So the ANC is alive to the problems that faces our people. It requires a moment like this one of the policy conference to be able to articulate on those, put forward recommendations to the national conference, so that when it comes back to implement program in government or wherever it leads, it will have done so guided by its own structures. So we'll say the policy conference was a success based on the articulations that come out of there. But we're quite confident. I mean, given the depth of our own policy discussion documents, the work that our own comrades who head subcommittees have done. I mean, we are going to be talking to Mmamoloko later on. She has already had engagements with the media. There was a platform created again for her to engage with the media through the Progressive Business Forum, and they've always been available, almost all these comrades, because they understand the importance of making sure that this dialogue is ongoing. See, JJ, what makes the ANC different to all these other organizations is that we also give ordinary South Africans an opportunity to make an input on our own policies.
Well, the ANC is in the wilderness. That's the view of political analyst Lesiba Tefo. He says the party is not short of policies, but lacks the individuals who can actually implement them.
Why did they dismantle their capable research and development unit that was there during the Thabo Mbeki era? That's when it began to go wrong. And they've been floundering in their attempt to get it right. Number two, when you talk about policy, they're not lacking in policy. It's the human factor that is failing the ANC. They don't implement. Neither do they have the appropriate people with the necessary skill to implement. I understand what is being said, and I respect their capacity and the capability to develop appropriate policies. But they are not the ones who can tell us today that they cannot implement because of lack of skills. Because capable men and women have been chanted out. Men and women of integrity. They are not wanting in terms of skills. They've got immense skill and capacity. Patriots. All right. But where they are in the wilderness.